In the last month and a week, I deployed 4 applications and I made a template for myself for the future one, and I can explain to you today how I did it, because before I wasn't capable of deploying anything. I spent my life working on applications which I was passionate about, and I wasn't capable of finishing them, deploying them. So I figured out a system for in a week being able to start developing for nothing and then work my end to the deployment. So I hope it's gonna help you. I'm really excited to share it with you. We're gonna have a good time. First one gonna be, don't think about the design too much at the beginning. The thing is that we spend so much time trying to make something look good that we don't even know if we're gonna keep it. So the idea is that first, you need to make sure that the core of your application, all the functionality work, because you're gonna see that it's not at the beginning of the project that you're gonna understand the scope of your project, and you're gonna know exactly where you're gonna go what. So you need to focus on the functionality. You cannot spend time on the design. It's really important to have the functionality down, all the user story, the user experience ready, and then you can think about the design. To support my other point is that you need to crash and break yourself early to not lose your time at the end. What do I mean about that? Is that as a dev, we know we want to make one thing perfect and then evolve and build on it. It makes it beautiful, it makes it great. But the problem is that when you're at the beginning of the project, you don't know exactly what's gonna happen. You have a good idea of what the obstacle gonna be, and let's imagine you're gonna work on something that you don't know exactly. The chances that you have to fall on pitfall and lose so much time are greater at the beginning, because this time that you could have spent breaking yourself, trying all those functionality instead of making one perfect, you spend trying to make one perfect. And the problem is that they don't work with each other because you didn't know about all those obstacles. The first day for us, because we were going to spend 1 week, needs to be the one where you're going to try everything. See where are you stronghold, where you can be strong and deploy easily, and where are the weaknesses that you have, and maybe circumvent them or just delete them completely from the project. Because the goal is to have a product. The goal is to have an application, not something perfect, not a dream, a product. So once you did that, once you tried everything that you had in your functionalities, and once you know the pitfall and the obstacles, you need to ask your question, where is the value? Because all those functionality will not bring as much value for your customer than you think. You need to focus on the one that bring the most value and work on them, and then add the sexy. Add is what is the little plus, but you need to focus on the core functionality. As a dev, I know I want to build, I want to add, I want to bring stuff, but the problem is that the more I add, the more I have to test again, the more I have to see if this works still and this doesn't, and at the end, nothing works, because I didn't focus on the core functionalities. So make sure to focus on those damn core functionalities. So once you really get those obstacles, those pitfalls, the next point is going to be that you need to use roads, not forests. What do I mean about that? Is that when you want to make a project, doing everything yourself might sound like a great idea, and I'm a victim of it too. I'm a perfectionist, I want to do everything myself. But where you're gonna have value is early on, when you're gonna find packages for your design. Let's go back design. For your packages, for your functionalities, somebody probably already did it, and way better than you or me. And I find a great template that I'm gonna share with you for Next.js application, which is great. It made me save so much time. There's so much functionalities, and also as a quote-unquote mid-level beginner for myself, it teach me what professionals do, because there's so many functionalities that I don't know about. So if you already apply that, I guarantee that you're gonna have way more chances to accomplish your goal of deploying an application. So let's make a very quick recap. So the idea is that don't focus on the design early on. It's easy. The more important thing, the more value is in the functionalities. We'll go to my second point, which is try and crash early on. In the first day, you try everything that you can have, so you can understand where is stronghold, where you're very good, where you're not good, where there's obstacles, and where there's pitfall that you cannot work. You need to try all those functionalities. Don't make one perfect and wait for the other one, and it doesn't work, and so my whole idea of application is dead. You need to focus on that. So once you have this, you need to ask yourself where is the value once you understand those functionality, and then you walk in roads, not forests. Make sure to use packages so you can build on it and not just spend your life trying to make something that somebody know and did way better than us, way better than us. The next point gonna be, you need to learn to let it go. In the span of a week, you need to triage. You can't spend your life trying to make a functionality that really doesn't want to work. Sometimes you can circumvent, use another package, sometimes you can do something else, but sometimes those applications will take your life and make the application never work. Those functionality will never work. So the idea is that sometimes you need to learn to let go, because there is another thing which is the law of diminishing return. The idea is that sometimes And I'm victim of it again. This week I tried to make an application. I spent my life on one functionality. It took me like 2 days. I had like a week to make this application. It's so much on my budget in terms of time. And I have a job, so I can't do that. Sometimes you need to let it go. Some functionalities are not worth the headache. You need to focus on the value, and you can't spend your life on functionality, which is gonna kill your application and kill your project. So make sure to let it go, because sometimes the return is really not worth the squeeze. The last point, which is maybe the most important for me in terms of lesson this week, is that you need to build with the end in mind. What do I mean about that? Is that I spent so much time on an application, I remember, trying to make it so perfect, and I had a budget of a week. I'm trying to do this program for myself. And the problem is that I was so excited, I added so many things, and the moment where I tried to build it, to package it, to deploy it afterward, with like, everybody told me it was so easy and stuff like that. It just didn't work. It just didn't work. I wasn't capable of making it work because I spent so much time with functionality. I had so many components, so many pages. I was very excited. Nothing worked. And so the project was beautiful. Like so many projects that we do, I have applications that I worked so long on and will never see the light of the day because they are too complex. I never thought about the end in mind. I didn't know how tough it was to deploy something, to build it, to containerize it. And so I killed my project because of it. So you need to understand what are the rules for your language or for your application or your project. What are the end in mind? What are the crucial action that if you don't take, your project is already dead? For me, for example, I was working on Vercel with like Next.js application. Everybody knows like Vercel, you can deploy very easily. But the problem is that either there is any problem with TypeScript, either there is any package which doesn't go with this or that, your application is dead. And in the span of my time, because I had like a set of time, I had to abandon my application, which really doesn't feel good. So you need to think about the end in mind. What are the crucial action that if you don't take, your application will never see the end of the day. You will never see the light of the day. So yeah, that was my advice. So they work. Those advice work. I am the type of dev which is perfectionist, incapable of deploying something. Incapable. I spent years, months, like if you want, on project, and I didn't think about the obstacle and stuff like that. And so those projects are just dead. I will never deploy them. And in this last month and 1 week, I deployed so much more, accomplished so much more, tried so much more. Then I evolved so much faster than if I like try to have a perfect project right away. So I invite you to do the same. Follow this advice. Tell me how it goes for you. I wish you the best. Don't hesitate to like and subscribe, of course, because it's a new channel, whatever. I wish you the best, and I will see you